YouTube, what the hell is up? How are we doing? Today I am going to be taking you through doing a tour of my new apartment, and I'm going to be giving you a little bit of just a life update on what's going on for me at the minute, what I'm training for, that sort of thing. Just a more relaxed kind of chatty YouTube video in comparison to the kind of sit down, talk about a topic style stuff. So, the new gaff. Let's turn the camera around. This is the new spot. So, kitchen. Got our fridge here. Freezer, nice big one as well, which is great. We have our oven and our hob. Cupboards. Sink, kettle, and also... So microwave, I did not know that I had one. I have a washing machine. Washing machine is huge because, I'll tell you why a washing machine is huge. Because now obviously so many people watching this are going to be like, a washing machine is hardly a big deal. But since I've lived on my own, or since I've moved out of home, so whether I was in college or living on my own in different places, I haven't had a washing machine in any of the apartments I'm in. I feel like washing machines aren't extremely common in homes that aren't family homes. So washing machine, fuck's sake. Dishwasher, fucking hell, going on, washing machine. Dishwashers are not extremely common in those sorts of houses, so I'm buzzing to have a dishwasher because I fucking hate doing the dishes. Then we come into the sitting room here. So we got a nice couch, nice L-shaped couch, plant in the corner. We also have a chair. The reason I have that chair right beside that one is so I can put my feet on it because I haven't got a footstool yet. I also do need to kind of decorate, like I've just moved in, so I haven't really added anything. TV, it's a smart TV. It's a really good TV as well, actually, which I didn't necessarily expect. I thought it would be like a really basic, cheap TV, but it's very good. And the Do guy is coming today. So Do is like the internet provider. So I haven't actually got my internet sorted yet, but the guy is coming and the TV isn't actually hooked up to like the channels. Like I've connected it to my laptop and I'm watching like Netflix and YouTube using my hotspot, using a HDMI. But today the guy is actually coming to properly set up the TV and set up my home Wi-Fi as well. So I'm excited to have that sorted too. I also have a balcony, which is a huge win. This is the balcony. And then down there, we've got the gym is inside there, and then the pool. And then on top you have some kind of benches. There's also like, what do you call them? I'm after forgetting the name. You know, where you cook outside. Barbecues. There's also barbecues and stuff like that. And some chairs and umbrellas and stuff like that. So it's really nice. So I have actually been living literally in one of the other apartments across there. But it's a separate building. So there's Una and then there's Leva. So Una is where I was previously, but I was in like a short-term let technically, even though I was there for like almost the whole summer. But it's just really annoying being in like a short-term let because it's not your home. Like you can't like add things to it. Like I wanted to get like an actual workspace, get a monitor and shit like that, and I haven't really been able to do any of that because it's not my home. I haven't been able to put up anything or like get any new, like if I want to buy an air fryer or something like that, it's like, you know what I mean? So I'm really excited to actually be here. And also this is a newer building. It's a nicer building. The security seemed better too. Like I had this issue ongoing in the old place that was fucking so annoying. So, and obviously part of this is because I was in technically a short-term let. But even though I had booked ahead like a month in advance, they would send a new move-in permit every fucking week. So every week I would get like locked out of my apartment for a few hours and go back and forth to security, and they take ages to send a permit. It was such a pain in the ass. But already like my experience with security here was so good, and they just got everything sorted so quickly and were so friendly. So then we come in here, we have the bathroom. Bathroom is actually really fucking nice. Really nice. It's much nicer than the other bathroom. So that is sink, toilet, pretty sizable shower also. Nice big shower, like I'm happy with that. So it's a really nice bathroom. Like much nicer than the other one. The bedroom is meh. Like the bed and it's a nice wardrobe, I'll show you now in a second. This has got to go. This is a piece of shit. It doesn't look that bad on camera, but in person it's just, yeah, it's a bit manky. So I need to get a new bedside table. I also, I only moved in yesterday. They had everything until it was fully furnished, but no pillows. So no pillows. So I just took one of the cushions from the couch and put it there last night. I didn't even clock it until I was going to sleep, and I was like, oh, I've no fucking pillows. And then there's a view outside there. Then here we have the wardrobe, and also the light comes on automatically, which is quite cool. Yeah, so that's that. And then what I am going to do now, I'm going to take you downstairs and show you some of the amenities, because they have really good amenities here, which you will see in a second. So as you can see, it's pretty fucking nice downstairs. Pretty good amenities, and you know, obviously there's a bit of a co-working space, and then there's the booths as well, which you can sit into and work out of. And I actually think that's really useful for me personally, because in the other place they don't have the booths. Now obviously, look, I can go out of my way to go to co-working spaces and stuff like that, and I can book offices and stuff, but to have them here is just really convenient, because I'm kind of forced that when I want to take calls, because especially like calls with potential new clients, I always need to do that from the house, like from my apartment. Whereas now I'm probably going to be able to take those calls in those booths if needs be, which is going to be brilliant. And just even anything, if I'm needing to like send voice notes or stuff like that, like I'm going to be able to do it in those booths, just get a bit more work done outside of the house, which is nice. But yeah, that's that. Got my apartment sorted. I still, obviously the Wi-Fi guy is coming in a couple of hours. I still need to get my gas sorted. I have food already cooked and like prepped for the next like 4 or 5 days. I just haven't got around to sorting the gas yet, but that will only take a day or two to get sorted. So once I have that, everything else is done. Like I got the tenancy, the electricity, the water, all that stuff done. So it's just the gas left, and then the Wi-Fi will be done in a few hours time. So fully set up, new gaff, sorted. And then I thought I would just give a little bit of an update on my own training. So at the moment, I mentioned this on my Instagram stories yesterday, but my sole focus is on ultra running at the moment. So after I did the Backyard Ultra in May, so for anyone who doesn't know who's watching this, a Backyard Ultra is basically a really specific format where you run a 6.7 kilometer loop on the hour, every hour, okay? The reason it's 6.7k is because that works out to 4.16 miles. And the reason that it's that distance is because if you did that for 24 hours straight, you would run 100 miles. So basically the way it works is you run with your 6.7k and then you do not run your next 6.7k until the next hour starts. So for example, if I started the race at 9 a.m. and I get back from my 6.7k at 9:47, I have to wait 30 minutes before I go again. And the way it works is people just basically go until they can't anymore, and only one person finishes the race, and that person is the winner. So there was actually an amazing backyard ultra on last weekend that went really viral. It was called the Last Soul Ultra, and Mark Dowdall won it with 94 laps. So understand, if you're watching this, because obviously some of you will know me, like you've been following me for a while, you'll know I have done a race like this. And last year I did one, not last year, sorry, May I did one, and I ran for 25 hours, so 25 laps, so 167 kilometers, and I DNF'd, I didn't finish the 26th lap. Mark Dowdall ran for 94 laps. And the crazy thing about these backyard ultras is you can only go as far as what your other competitor does. So for example, Mark Dowdall needed someone to run 93 laps so he could run 94, because the race doesn't finish until one person completes a lap on their own, basically. So genuinely think about that. Like that's just short of 4 days. During those 4 days, for not one period did he get more than 15 minutes of sleep. So during the night, what they'll do is they'll try and finish their laps in like 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and then they'll nap, and then they'll go again. It's crazy. Like, this was the coolest shit ever. But this last one went absolutely viral just because there was so much drama at it. Like, fucking Mark Dowdall is just such a character. Like, you need to follow this guy on Instagram if you don't know who he is. His psychology needs to be studied. Like, incredible. It was so good. Ultra running is gonna get really, you heard it here first, ultra running is gonna get very popular over the next 2 or 3 years. Because on paper, it should be like kind of a slow, boring sport. But anytime it gets down to the last few people, there's always drama. It's so cool. Anyways, enough of me waffling about that. But basically, ultra running is the priority, because after I did that ultra in May, I was like, this is fucking it. Like, this is what I want to do with my training. So coming towards the end of this year, I have 3 races currently locked in, or planned, we'll say. The first one is the last one standing so it's at the end of October. And the way that race works is it's a little bit different to a backyard ultra. Instead of it going on until you quit, it's a 24-hour time cap. So the race is 24 hours. There's also a 6-hour and 12-hour version, but I'm doing the 24-hour version. And you run an 8.8 kilometer loop. And it's not on the hour every hour. It's not anything like that. You just run as many loops as you can in 24 hours, and it's self-paced. So if I wanted to go and run 4 laps and then rest for an hour, I could. Whereas in the backyard ultra, you have to go on the hour every hour. So that's going to be a new challenge. There's a bit of trail on it. There's a bit of elevation as well. So I don't have a huge amount of experience with trail and kind of elevation, but that's something I'm working on in my training at the moment. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's been announced on Instagram. They haven't actually brought the tickets out yet, so I'm waiting on them to bring the tickets out. But that's the first thing I have on the calendar. Then in November, I have the 100k Ultra Dubai. Okay, so this is a 100-kilometer trail race through the mountains. It's got over 3,000 meters of elevation. It's on a trail. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a fucking hard race, but I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be such an experience. And I've heard from online and from other people who've done it that it's like an amazing race. Like, the scenery is so cool. So I'm really excited for that. And that's going to be my first standard ultra. Like, obviously the backyard ultra, and then this next one that I'm doing, both of these are kind of like in a set area, whereas this one is going from point to point. So I'm really, really excited for that, and it's going to be a big new challenge. Like, I back myself to run, like, on normal terrain, I'm not comfortable, but like I can run 100k. a whole different ball game doing it with trail and elevation. So I'm fucking hyped for that. And then in December, it hasn't been announced yet, so I'm getting a little bit worried, but it was planned. So generally, the Ras Al Khaimah Backyard Ultra, Ras Al Khaimah is one of the other Emirates in the United Arab Emirates, for anyone who's wondering. So it's like a hour's drive from Dubai. It's in the same country. That is usually in December, but I don't think it went ahead last year. So I'm waiting to see what happens. I'm hoping to God it'll go ahead because I really want to get a Backyard Ultra in before the end of the year. And the plan at that one is to just absolutely burn the boats. Because obviously I've done a Backyard Ultra before. I know what it requires. You know, I had my first rodeo, and realistically, like 25 laps on your first go is like, I'm really happy with that. Like, that's a great place to be in. It's a great place to build from. And also, I came out of that knowing mistakes that I made with like my fueling and stuff like that, my digestion, and my shoes as well, that I can take into the next one. So I really want like another crack at it to try and get a much longer distance. So I'm hoping that goes ahead. If it doesn't, I will either replace it with another point-to-point ultra. So point-to-point being like you run from point A to point B. That's like another ultra that's like 100k plus. Or what I will do is I will come home for Christmas earlier and do a backyard in Europe somewhere. So I'll basically go to somewhere in Europe and then go home to Ireland in December and do both those things in December. It's annoying. I would much prefer do the one here. It suits my life, but it's just easier than having to travel to a place than travel to another place. Because the problem with backyard ultras is like, you need a crew first of all, so you need people that are going to come with you and like keep you fed and like fucking look after your sock changes and shit like that in between laps. Because when you're running for like 15, 20, 30 hours straight, when you come back, like, you are not going to want to sort out your kit and your food yourself. You're not psychologically able at that point because you're so wrecked. So you need a crew to do well. So me going somewhere in Europe, like, I don't know how I would even sort that. And I also don't know how I would even get the stuff that I need there. Like, as in, you kind of need like all these specific things. I'm trying to think now off the top of my head, but like, just to give you an idea, when I did my other backyard ultra, I had a car with me and the car was packed flat to the mat with everything that I needed for the race. Like, you need a lot of stuff to run these ultras. So yeah, I'm hoping that the Ras Al Khaimah backyard does go ahead, but if it doesn't, I'll replace it with something else. My gut instinct is if I replace it with something else, I probably will try and do a point-to-point race instead. As much as I want to do a backyard, I probably don't want the hassle of having to try and do somewhere in Europe, but we will see, okay? But that is what's going on at the moment. Training wise, here's what a regular training week looks like for me at the minute. So this week is actually an easy week, so I call it an easy week. It's like a deload week, so my volume, which this is going to sound ridiculous because it's not low volume, but it's lower volumes on my other weeks. Basically, average week right now. So on Monday, I have a lower body session in the morning. So that's like kind of lower / prehab. So it's not like a heavy lower body session. It's a lot of like single leg stuff that lowers the likelihood that I get injured, a little bit of core stuff. And then in the evening, I have an easy run. That easy run, depending on the week, is anywhere from say 12k up to like 17-ish k. And then Tuesday I have a cycle, so that's around 90 minutes on the bike. That's either an easy cycle or a threshold cycle. So Tuesday and Thursday I have a cycle. It'll either be an easy cycle or a threshold. I say easy, call it aerobic. It's not fucking easy. Honestly, the cycles are all hard. And it's not a literal bike I'm using, it's like a stationary bike in the gym. So I have two bikes. So we'll say, just for argument's sake, we'll say I have an aerobic cycle on Tuesday. So that's like slightly lower intensity, but still pretty hard. Wednesday then I have upper body and I have a tempo run. So tempo run is like a harder run, so it's like at pace. So I'd have like tempo intervals where I might have like a solid pace where my heart rate will be up, and then like 2 minute rest for like 4 rounds or something like that. And that'll be anywhere from like probably 12 up to 15k, 10 to 15k we'll say. So Monday, lower easy run. Tuesday, aerobic cycle. Wednesday, upper tempo run. Thursday, threshold cycle. So this is a hard cycle with intervals. That'll be about 60 to 90 minutes depending on the day. Friday, I have lower body again. This is a hard lower body session. It's a bit heavier. And then I have another easy run in the evening, which is anywhere from, again, like 10 up to like 16, 17k depending on the day. And then Saturday, I have a 60-minute flush through kind of session. So basically, it's low impact. So 60 minutes, and it'll be like bike, row, ski, stuff like that, like bike, row, ski, assault bike, that sort of stuff. So stuff that's lower impact, it doesn't put too much pressure on my joints. And then on Sunday, I have a long run, which is anywhere from, we'll say 18k up to, at the end of this block, like close to 30k. So that's a current training week at the moment. But like I said, this week, it's the same split, but the volume is a little bit lower. So it's on the lower end of all those, like it's all like 10k, and then the long run is like 18k this week. It's not crazy. So this week is like an easier week, and then obviously I have 3 hard weeks coming up where the volume increases each week. And the way that it's increasing, so the 2 cycles get slightly harder each week, the tempo run gets slightly harder each week, and the distance, or we'll say the way my coach programs it is he gives me time as opposed to distance. So it's not like run this distance, it's like this amount of time at this pace. So the time of all the runs is increasing. So essentially, if we say like my last hard week, I will have done like 60 kilometers of running across the week. I have 3 hard weeks coming up now. By the last week, I'd say it'll be close to 80k that I run. So solid bit of fucking volume, but at the same time, like it's hard, like it does take a toll on you, like it's tiring. Like sometimes you're dragging yourself through sessions, but that's where you fucking build the endurance. This is the thing with ultras, like it's a fucking game of volume. Like if you're going to go out and run 100k plus, you need to be able to run fairly solid distance across a week. You know, you think about it, like I'm like, oh, that 80k is a lot. I ran more than that in a day. So, you know, that's just the nature of ultramarathons, but it's very exciting. I fucking love it. Like I really, really am enjoying my training, and I just have fallen in love with ultra running, the whole scene. I love it. It's so positive. I think that's what I really, really like about ultra running. I think a lot of other, whether it's bodybuilding, whether it's high rocks, whether it's shorter running, I think there's a lot of like ego and images that come into it. Ultra running, yes, it's competitive, but people really spur each other on, which I love. Like, you know, you'd be in the wars with people like 20 hours in, and they'd be like egging you on to continue, like not to give up. I just love that. I love that about ultra running. So yeah, that's a life update. That's what I've got going on at the minute. Business is flying as well. Really, really fucking busy months. Like loads of new clients brought on, which is great because it's August. And typically August wouldn't be the busiest month generally. September and October tend to be really busy. So it's going to be a big finish to the year, and I have some exciting stuff planned in the background that I've been working on for a while, which I'm really hyped to announce and bring to clients, but it's just taking a while to get everything done in the background. It's hard to find the time to work on stuff that like brings a bit of business forward and improves the quality of the service when you are actually coaching clients as well. So it's hard to make that time alongside the training and get everything done, but we do our best. Anyways, that's been me. That's a house tour. Showed you the downstairs, and then a little update on my training and what's going on in my life. I appreciate you all watching. If you did enjoy this, please drop us a like, drop us a positive comment. It really does go a long way. And if you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.